Guys, the AI wars are heating up to the extent I don't think I have ever seen in the business world, with the likes of Mark Zuckerberg reportedly offering top researchers from companies like OpenAI $100 million signing bonuses, in addition to contracts that reportedly would average over $100 million per year. Doesn't that make you sad that schmucks like us are just on the internet researching and talking about OpenAI? But golly, how serious must this be for this to be the case? Well, what it tells me is that the scale and scope of what these guys think is to be won with AI, what the AI marketplace is going to provide, is incredible. And I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, because the vast dichotomy between stratospheres of these companies is going to result in extreme inequity amongst them. It's going to mean basically decimation, in my opinion, for many other substratospheres of companies that don't have AI, companies that don't employ an AI provider, things like this. But I have two sources here that I want to go through that have insights into this very idea, this very battle for AI. But one thing, real quick, that I've noticed about the channel is I am starting to cover AI more and more on this channel because of how fast things are moving and how interesting these things are to me. So there is now an AI playlist on the channel in which you can find this very video, as well as the other things that I have covered on the topic of AI. So we will start here with an article titled "Ilya Sutskever Rejected Meta's Bid for His $32 billion Startup. So Zuckerberg is hiring his CEO instead." Very cutthroat. Subtitled, "After Safe Superintelligence Rejected Meta's Acquisition Bid, the tech giant turned to poaching top talent, including co-founder CEO Daniel Gross from CTech." Suspiciously, I could not find a writer for this article. So was this itself written by AI? I can't tell you, but question whether or not as well former CEO Daniel Gross got $100 million to walk away. The article goes on to say this: "In the escalating arms race for artificial general intelligence, AGI, which no one's really calling AGI out anymore, a few moves have been made as brazen or as revealing as Meta's failed attempt to acquire Safe Superintelligence, SSI. Superintelligence is the term that we are hearing thrown around more and more. I think that a little bit this is a way to move the goalposts so that AGI, which may be quite a ways out, may not be, it just depends on how these things scale. AGI, which may be quite a ways out, can be the ultimate goal, but there can be wins along the way, with superintelligence being one of those intervening goalposts. I know that's not how a football field is set up, but you understand what I'm saying. The secretive $32 billion startup, co-founded by former OpenAI chief scientist Ilya Sutskever, the social media giant, made a serious bid for the one-year-old company earlier this year, according to CNBC, but was rebuffed by Sutskever. How do other people in the company feel about that? Now, Meta is taking a different route, acquiring the people instead of the company. Depending on how many people they tear away from Sutskever, this is kind of this is the pirate way of doing an acquihire. An acquihire is when you don't really care about what the company that you're buying does, but you enjoy that, you like the talent and think the talent in the company could provide your bigger company with a leap ahead. This is the pirate way to do that. Just going up to these people on the streets, obviously not on the streets, but you see what I'm saying, and saying, "Hey, we'd like to pay you. What is it that you want to make?" And Mark Zuckerberg will write the check. Meta has successfully hired SSI co-founder Daniel Gross, the former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman, CEO GitHub Nat Friedman, who together also run the influential venture fund NFDG as part of CEO Mark Zuckerberg's escalating push into superintelligence. The two will report to Alexander Wang, the Scale AI founder who joined Meta last week. We'll get to that later. Uh, as a part of a $14.3 billion deal that gave the company a 49% stake in Scale. According to sources, Meta will also acquire a stake in NFDG, one of Silicon Valley's most coveted early stage AI funds. Here's one thing that I can promise you. If Hollywood can get their boots strapped on and get their heads out of their own butts, there's going to be a lot of movies to be made about this era of AI growth, AI talent acquisition, and all of the pirating that is going on between these companies, because this is drama. The aggressive maneuvering will underscore just how far Zuckerberg is now willing to go to secure top-tier AI talent and how central superintelligence has become to Meta's future. It also makes you wonder how. So, we don't have the details into what it is that Mark Zuckerberg knows about his own company, what it is that Mark Zuckerberg knows about other companies. Again, being where he is, being as connected as he is, he's going to have insights into these companies that you and I just don't. Is this insecurity on Zuckerberg's behalf? That's how I read this. It's also possible that Zuckerberg knows he's got something cornered. If he knows he's got something cornered, all he has to do is step on the throat, and all of a sudden he has some corner of AI absolutely dominated. It's possible that's what's going on here. I don't think that's what it is, because it does not seem to me that any of the companies which he's acquisitioning, any of the individuals which he is trying to pirate, it does not seem to me that they are all that particularly aimed in one direction other than generally artificial intelligence. Founded just a year ago, Safe Superintelligence has quickly become one of the most hyped and mysterious names in AI. That's Ilya Sutskever for you. The company has no public product, no demos, and only around 24 employees, yet it raised $2 billion in April as a $32 billion valuation, following an earlier $1 billion round last September. Its mission, reportedly, is to develop a safe and aligned superintelligent AI system, an explicit contrast to OpenAI's increasingly commercial direction. You might remember the name Ilya Sutskever because he was reportedly the individual who raised concerns around Sam Altman, and this is what led to Sam Altman's ousting from OpenAI a year ago, a year and a half ago, whenever that was. Sam Altman ultimately won the day and was back at OpenAI. But it was Ilya Sutskever who was concerned about the direction in which things were going. That concern led him to start his own company. With backing from Google, Nvidia, and top venture firms like Andreessen Horowitz and DST Global, SSI is also a rare example of a startup that counts both chip giants among its backers, meaning, I think, Nvidia and AMD. Reportedly one of Google Cloud's largest customers for TPUs outside of Google itself, and it has quietly expanded its presence to Tel Aviv, now hiring local academic talent while keeping a tight lid on operations. One thing to watch here, which might be super unfair of me to talk about because I have no idea. This would just be speculation on my part. Elon Musk does not back a lot of things that are not directly his companies. He puts his money into Tesla, SpaceX, XAI, all of these companies that he owns, Boring, Neuralink. All of his stuff is basically the only place where he spends his attention. A little bit off of that beaten path has been recently the AI revolution. He really does not trust Sam Altman. Elon Musk reportedly cannot stand Sam Altman through some of his own words and actions, does not like Sam Altman. Ilya Sutskever, again, the SSI company is mysterious. is a mystery to those even who are closer to the subject, certainly, than myself. It would not be. So, the reason I bring this up is Elon Musk wins. Straight up, flat out, pillar to post, Elon Musk wins. It would not surprise me if one of the individuals, from whom Ilya Sutskever is getting some support is Elon Musk. The SSI company seems to be a bit of a reaction to what is considered by Ilya Sutskever, or at least seemingly considered by Ilya Sutskever, to be unethical ways at OpenAI. So if SSI is a counter to OpenAI, to Sam Altman, do not believe that it is beyond Elon Musk to back Ilya Sutskever to the point where he does not feel he has to take offers like Zuckerberg's $32 billion, whatever the offer was for his $32 billion company, so that Sutskever can keep working, presumably in opposition to Sam Altman, or at least parallel to Sam Altman. A next article here. Meta's $14.4 billion Scale AI deal, latest test of AI partnerships from Reuters by Jody Godoy. Reportedly, Mark Zuckerberg was rebuffed by Ilya Sutskever. This did not stop him. He went on to find some other talent to acquire. June 13th, Facebook owner Meta's hold on. I screwed something up here. Facebook's owner, Meta's opens new tab, $14.8 billion investment. Okay. Let me take a step back. Meta's $14.8 billion investment in Scale AI and hiring of data labeling startups CEO will test how the Trump administration views so-called acqui-hire deals, which some have criticized as an attempt to evade regulatory scrutiny. We talked about this term acqui-hire earlier. Lena Khan is no longer in her position in the federal government, who was just blocking every acquisition deal she could. We didn't even get to see Amazon buy a robo vacuum company, iRobot. That was shot down. Those days are no longer. The Trump administration seems, or would seem, we haven't seen much of it yet, would seem to be much more kind towards all sorts of these business deals. The deal announced on Thursday was Meta's second largest. It gives the owner of Facebook a 49% non-voting stake in Scale AI, which uses gig workers to manually label data and includes among its customers Meta competitors Microsoft and ChatGPT creator OpenAI. Unlike an acquisition or a transaction that would give Meta a controlling stake, the deal does not require a review by U.S. antitrust regulators. However, they could probe the deal if they believe it was structured to avoid those requirements or harm competition. I do not foresee this happening. I think that the Trump administration is going to be much kinder towards business getting done because that's how real progress is made. The deal appeared to be structured to avoid potential pitfalls such as cutting off competitors' access to Scale's services or giving Meta an inside view into rivals' operations, though Reuters exclusively reported on Friday that Alphabet, in light of has decided to sever ties with Scale in light of Meta's stake. So Google will not be doing business with them after this acquisition. And other customers are looking at taking a step back, meaning this might have a general cooling effect on the emerging Scale AI company and business. In a statement, a Scale AI spokesperson said its business, which spans work with major companies and governments, remains strong, as it is committed to protecting customers' data. The company declined to comment on specifics with Google. Now, if you're losing a customer, Google's probably not a customer you want to lose. Very deep pockets at Google. If Google wants something done, they can definitely pay for it. Alexander Wang, Scale's 28-year-old CEO who is coming to Meta as a part of the deal, will remain on Scale's board, but will have to appropriate restrictions placed around his access to information. Two sources familiar with the move confirmed. Large tech companies likely perceive the regulatory environment for AI partnerships as easier to navigate under President Donald Trump than under former President Joe Biden, said William Kovacic, director of the Competition Law Center at George Washington University. Don't forget, David Sachs is on the president's pay or Rolodex as well, and he seems to be very in favor of all of these types of things going through. Trump's antitrust. So, just a step back. Why should this go through? Well, this is an off-ramp for business builders. A guy wants to build a company like Scale AI. That doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to do it for the rest of his life. He wants to build something that is sufficient and sell it. There are lots of these types of people in the economy. These people become ultra scalers, become the ultra wealthy, but they're also the ultra productive. So locking these people into careers on single companies is not the best necessarily for the economy at large. Guys like this, I can't remember his name real quick, Alexander Wang, maybe this is just one of the things he wants to do. But if you lock him into Scale AI, unless he just quits the company or the company goes under, he is more likely to lose focus and the company will falter because of it. Allow him to build it, make it run, make it sustainable, and sell it, and then that guy is off doing something else productive in the economy. That would lead me to think that they will keep looking carefully at what the firms do. It does not necessarily dictate that they will intervene in a way that would discourage the relationships, Kovacic said. Federal Trade Commission probes into past acqui-hire deals appear to be at a standstill. Under the Biden administration, the FTC opened inquiries into Amazon's deal to hire top executives and researchers from the AI startup Adept and Microsoft's $650 million deal with Inflection AI. The latter allowed Microsoft to use Inflection's models and hire most of the startup's staff, including its co-founders. Amazon's deal closed without further action from the regulator, a source familiar with the matter confirmed, and more than a year later after its initial inquiry, the FTC has so far taken no enforcement action against Microsoft over Inflection, although a larger probe over practices at the software giant is ongoing. A spokesperson for the FTC declined to comment on Friday. David Olson, a professor who teaches antitrust law at Boston College Law School, said it was smart of Meta to take a minority non-voting stake. I think that does give them a lot of protection if someone comes after them, he said, adding that it was still possible that the FTC would want to review the agreement. The Meta deal has its skeptics. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, surprise there, a Democrat from Massachusetts who is probing, said Meta's investment should be scrutinized. Meta can call this deal whatever it wants, but if it violates federal law because it unlawfully squashes competition or makes it easier for Meta to illegally dominate, antitrust enforcers should investigate and block it, she said in a statement on Friday. The problem with this is that everything could, in some way or another, be found to squash competition or look like you are illegally dominating. That is the nature of business. Someone wins, someone loses. It's not zero sum, but it's not wholesome either. And what we saw under Lina Khan was a very aggressive move to really sort of explain everything as trying to unlawfully squash. And it had a very cooling effect on large portions of the economy, large portions of innovation. While Meta faces its own monopoly lawsuit by the FTC, it remains to be seen whether the agency will have any questions about its Scale investment. The U.S. Department of Justice's Antitrust Division, led by former J.D. Vance advisor Gail Slater, recently started looking into whether Google's partnership with chatbot creator Character AI was designed to evade antitrust review. Bloomberg News reported the DOJ is separately seeking to make Google give it advance notice of a new AI investments as part of a proposal to curb the company's dominance in online search. These things are heating up. These things are massive. These things are this AI movement, this AI tidal wave is incredible. We recently saw Elon Musk take a step back from government, and I can't remember the exact retweet. I was not expecting to talk about this, but someone had tweeted at Elon Musk that, or maybe Elon Musk himself had tweeted, was that working on the government was like trying to clean up the beach. And you're walking around picking up bottle tops, picking up needles, all of these things, and it's very excruciating work. And then you look out at the ocean and you see an 80-foot wave coming ashore. Well, that 80-foot wave is artificial intelligence. And that is where everything is heading. So any type of effort that Elon Musk places in government could be wiped out completely by the AI revolution. And so Elon Musk has been very focused on eliminating the debt because that is what is going to absolutely crush the United States if it is not gotten under control. Well, one way to eliminate the debt is to pay down the debt. Another way is to grow the GDP, to grow the economy, because then the massive amounts of money that we owe are not so imposing. And AI might do that. And the insinuation behind the tweet was that Elon Musk was now focusing on the 80-foot wave. He was going to try to grow the economy through artificial intelligence. These are the moves that Meta, for example, is making in order to get a stake in that very same future. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out. And this is one of the things that I cover on this channel, so hit the subscribe button to stick around for more. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.